Have you ever wanted expert fitness advice from someone who does competition and knows how to sculpt her body? Well, I'm interviewing today Kimberly Sayers, that's at Body by Kim. She is amazing. She is a titan. And she shows that repetition and consistency are not the only magical ingredients to having an abundant, holistic physical experience. She has been in the industry for over 12 years. She has her own gym, she has her own community, and she also coins her gym as the safe space because it is a safe space. She has techniques that deal with your mindset that can help you really expand past your limitations. And she's helping me on my postpartum journey. And she's helped open up a whole new world for me mentally as I am healing and I am going back into a different place physically. I'm no longer growing life, but I am nurturing life. And she's right beside me. She's helping me, and she is not a judgmental person at all. She is a helpful, supportive person. So if you have any narratives on health that may be unhealthy, if anything comes up, I invite you during this to write them down and literally throw them in the trash because this is the real deal. Health is the real deal. It is beautiful. And so we're going to take a look in. We're going to talk to this queen. We're going to see what it's all about. And I'm excited to share it with you. Oh, and before we dive in, please be making sure that you subscribe to my channel. Why are you not subscribed to my channel? This is wellness and this is an energy exchange. So you're going to get the most out of it. With that, hit that like button, hit that
And
subscribe.
I'm here
Share
today with
friend.
Kim Sayers. She is a bad bitch. Let's just put it, let's just call a spade a spade, okay? I have been so inspired by you. You own your own business, you're beautiful, your relationship, you travel, you're Gemini, and I'm a Venus Gemini, so to me, every time I see a Gemini girl, I'm just like, oh yes. It's just I always say Gemini and Sagittarius. Me and my sister did a talk. We're like, they're the baddest bitches of the zodiac.
Thank you. Thank you. Just put that one out there. So
Yes.
you
So
know.
I'm like, we're over
Yeah.
here interviewing queens, and we're gonna have a conversation about different topics from spirituality, feminine like energy, and like embodiment, and how it looks on different people. And so I just wanted to want you to introduce yourself, about you, and like all things Kim.
Okay. Uh, well, I guess I own my own business, like we talked about. It took me a
Right.
while to get there, but it's a lot of fun. I can't complain about it. They always say, you trade in 40-hour work weeks and you just like want to work in on yourself, and then it ends up being like 24/7. So it's like it never stops, which is exciting. You know what I'm saying? Like I never thought that I would be so excited to like every day I get up and I get a chance to like recreate my day, and every day is different. So that's the coolest part about it. Nothing's monotonous, especially being in the fitness industry. Like everything's different. You're constantly dealing with, people, and it's awesome to watch them grow. And I think that's what keeps me motivated for sure.
Right.
Um, I have been an athlete since I was 12. So I professionally became a professional bodybuilder 2 years ago, 21. Yeah. But I've been doing this for almost 13 years. So
That's a
that was
long
like a big
time.
thing for me. Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I went
that's
through a
really
lot.
cool.
I started when the industry, and not for anything, and all of my 80s babies will feel me on this one, all my ladies. Fitness was not a thing for us. I definitely got called like a man. I got called a little boy. There's just so many negative attributes to me being in the weight section, especially the leaner I got and the more defined my muscles became, the closer I got to show ready. It just was not fun. Now it's a fad and everybody wants to do it, and it's the coolest thing. So
Right.
it builds a
So
lot
you
of
were in the
character.
trenches. You were like in the
Yeah.
foundation of an
Yeah.
industry, not just, oh, it's a trend, I want to be
You're
in
like, we're
shape.
here. I just want to step on stage with a sparkly bikini. And I'm like over here, like, I just want to fit in, and I just want everybody to be okay with me, like weight training, and not just hitting the cardio. So
Right.
I feel like that builds a lot of character, which also allows me as a coach to show my girls that I've taken all of the necessary hits so that they don't have to,
Ooh,
so
that's so important. I've been thinking about leadership all day because I've been like in this zone where I just hit that point in my business. I have been, to be honest, I've been Flintstoning for a very long time. And I don't think that we talk about that enough because women were like, we work hard and we're this, we're like, and it's like this association with like toughness. And I didn't realize I was really Flintstoning it until I got pregnant. And
Yeah.
then when I got pregnant, now I'm in the stage of my business where I'm like, wow, I'm excited to wake up every day. I get to create, I get to do this, and new ideas are coming. And I'm now having other people work with me in my business, meaning you too, because you're
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
doing my whole program. And I had been at this line in my health for like 7 years. I just couldn't get past, and it wasn't just the number, it was a lot of things. And I realized that it's just really easy with you. I don't know how you make something that is so challenging for so many people. Because like I wasn't raised with an athletic family. My dad was, but he was in the army or the Air Force, but he didn't do that for us. He's like, go do Taibo, go do
Yeah.
squats.
The
So I'm like,
cardio. Yeah.
yeah,
The body weighted stuff. Yeah. Don't touch a weight. It'll make you manly. And I'm like, that is not how this works. This is not how this works. It
that's
makes you
how it's
strong.
raised.
It does not make you manly. There's two different things, So, um, well, my main goal, and this goes for every single one of my clients, is making sure that it fits your lifestyle, right? Like that's why we fill out the questionnaire. I need to know, like, are you using the garage and a home gym? Are you using no weights? Have you just had a baby? Like, what is it that's going to make this feel more like your everyday movement and not extra work? When I can make it feel like an everyday movement, I take the guessing out of it. I take you searching for exercises on YouTube. And no, I also hold you accountable. So you have to check in with me. That app that I use allows you to feel accomplished in just being able to be like, I finished it.
Yes, that's my
right?
favorite part. It's my favorite part.
And I think that is what really makes it a lot easier and makes you more motivated, but also you're a mom now, right?
Yeah.
So you want her to see that you can be fit, strong, beautiful, all those things that you encompass on a daily basis. She starts watching you do more of this, you'd be surprised. Give her a few months and she's going to start doing some push-ups. She's going to start walking with you. She's going to start wanting to be, around that. And I mean, not for nothing, Steve already does it too. So it makes it a lot easier for you guys, right? To hold each other accountable. So, and then you start to feel better. And when you start to feel better, everybody around you feels better.
It's true. That's what I just hit. I feel like I just opened the door, but internally on that.
Yeah.
Because I've been realizing you put so much energy out for everyone else. Most people, I wasn't doing it because I was like perceiving myself as lazy. I was just like, I have this and I have to have her, and she doesn't want to go down for a nap, and how am I going to work out? But when I hit the start button, something about like 3, 2, 1, I was like, this is my new life. So I started like playing with it and like adding like certain music in the background. And I'm like, you know what? I'll do it if she's awake. And I now say, okay, I'm gonna put you down. I'll be back in 20 minutes. And she falls asleep like within 3 minutes. And so I realized it was all in my head.
That's another thing, is that I don't make it an hour and a half. Right? Like you right now, there's no need for that. For you, you're working it into your everyday movement. And then, it could end up becoming an hour and a half because you once it gets warmer or whatever you want to do, you can take her out for the walk and then you come back and you actually hit the weight part. Right. So it's like, you've got to understand and be able to pay attention to what your clients need. And I feel like that's what sets me apart from most who are just like trying to get trying to monetize off of everything. For me, I really do want to see you succeed. And it's not because you're my friend. It's just because of the simple fact that being a woman, we put everybody first. And it's so much easier to be like, I can't do that today because I've got X, Y, and Z. But when it's only 20 minutes, what's 20 minutes?
Yeah, it's built into the design. And I like that.
Yeah.
That's the shift that I think made a huge difference, because I'm like, oh, I can do this in the morning. Oh, I can do this. And it's not her whole nap. It's not like, oh, I have to give up her whole nap. And I'm like, oh, then I journal. And then you know what? We go for a walk. And now I'm like, I wonder how long I can go on the cycle. And I promise you, before I started working with you, Steve could not have paid me to get on that bike. Like, he could have given me, I saw the other day, I was an hour and like some change. You could not have given me like $100 to get on it. And I was like, what happened? It's like the mental shift that it's, oh, this is simple. And I habit stack, which is I'll take something spiritual and stack it on top of my fitness. I'm like, okay, this is me walking my new life. I'm walking a new path. And I'll tell myself that. And then next thing I know, I'm like subconsciously going further. So I use your programmed to do that. And it's like, whoa, that's why I was like, I have to hit her up. I want her to be a part of the Queen Circle. Like, so just so you know, I'm having a new coaching program, and it's going to be something very unconventional because I've
Okay.
paid thousands of dollars to do these things. But I want people to design their life just like your business.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's 20 minutes. It's like, how can we environment design our place to look like the reality that we want
Yeah.
like on the background. So I'll have like wealth affirmations where there's just houses flashing by. And my husband Steve's like, oh, all right, we're in Malibu, cool. And he'll just keep walking. And so that's why I wanted to add that element in because I really think that women are always thinking like I'm intuitive or I'm not. But
Yeah.
in this, I'm like, your imagination is a very feminine aspect of people that they don't tap into that can actually help them manifest and push past those limits. So I'm wanting to combine the elements of like, you have to take care of your body because it makes you
Yeah.
stronger spiritually too.
Yeah. I mean, that was the biggest thing for me when I actually started. I ended up starting after I graduated with my master's because I didn't have the time, but I've always been an athlete. I still played field hockey and I just was like on the move. And I saw a girl, one of my close friends, she ended up doing it at the time. And I was like, you know what? Who doesn't want to be judged in a bikini on stage? This is going to be awesome. Let me just try it out. And it was probably the best thing that I've ever done because A, it
Really?
took me out of my comfort zone. B, it showed me what I was truly capable of. When you feed yourself on the highest level of really paying attention to like the nutritional aspect of it. And I'm not just saying, oh, okay, when you go out to, you go out to eat, you can't eat this, you can't do that. No. It's about making those small adjustments. So instead of me doing like a bun on my burger, I'll eat the fries because potato comes from a ground. Yeah, it's being fried, but the potato comes
Mm,
from the ground, right? So it's like I try to make those adjustments, and then as you begin to do that, your body starts to physically change. So, I started my journey at 165 pounds. I'm
oh
171
wow.
right now,
Mm-hmm.
12, 13 years later, right? But my body contour has changed completely. And it's about us being women and not holding on to that, oh my God, how much do I weigh? Because if
Yes.
I held on to that, I would be a hot mess because my weight has gone up, So it's like, it's
Okay.
more of like, how do I feel? How do my clothes fit? Like, even in my sizes, I've gone from a smallish medium to a large, and I love it because I love the way
Mm,
my body feels. And I feed it to, with quality. If we're going to go out to eat, I'm not going to sit there and get a pizza from Domino's. We're going to go, 20 minutes up the road and get an awesome tomato pie that I've waited
right.
for. Right. So you begin to change your mindset on and looking at food. Food is your energy. Your body doesn't know what time it is. So why are you stopping your food at 5 p.m. when you don't get to bed till 11? So for a whole 6 hours, you're just fasting.
Oh
And then
my
you sleep
gosh.
for another six.
Oh,
And then you don't eat for another four. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Okay,
yeah, I know.
ma'am.
I know.
So it's like but it's all about the educating yourself on it. Right. And
Hmm.
we, again, as women feel like, okay, well, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. And then all of a sudden it surpasses and you don't get to it. And now you're a little overweight, or now you have you're on the borderline of maybe having diabetes, or there's just like other levels to it that start to trickle in, and then it sets you back even further, right? There's never a good moment, but like right
Yeah,
now is the moment.
exactly.
Like, why not me, right?
Hmm.
So I mean,
No,
I
it's really important because how I always felt about it was like I didn't have a blueprint. Like I didn't have like, and I always see this too with clients. It's like if there's something that you want, it's like you know you want it, but you don't have a blueprint of what it looks like or what it is. And so the intimidation of it being like a completely new world is where
yeah,
I think people don't even want to get started at all. And so for me, I was like, okay, um, I'm gonna do this, and it feels like, okay, I can do this. Oh fuck, I fucked up that, but I'm not. It's not so big where it's like, like before in
yeah,
other programs where I was like, oh, I
yeah,
didn't take my 2 shakes, like I didn't,
yeah,
and I'm like, wow, I have to eat a lot of protein. I had no idea. And Steve's like, yeah, like look, he just literally before we got on here, he's like, he went to the BX and he was like, I'm gonna get some protein for us because we got to get our intake. And so
yeah,
I think it's it's inspiring to have you in my corner because I know that you're capable. So when I don't feel capable, it's like an anchor. And that to me is so, so valuable in your space because I've worked with people in the past and I always felt like I had to prove to them. But this way makes me feel more accountable for myself.
Yeah. And that's what I want to do is create the program for you. Cause like you saying that Steve could never pay you to
Yeah.
get on the bike, right?
I
Well,
know.
because that's more his journey, right? Like that's his thing. Kev told him to get a bike so that he could do X, Y, and Z, right? It doesn't relate to you until it
Right.
relates to you, right? So when you are able to make it a part of
Mm,
your everyday movement because this is what you want to do for you, then it becomes a totally different mindset. Like that's when you have like the boyfriends want to take the girlfriends to the gym and they want to train. Well, she doesn't want to train like that. So then they're like button heads, and all of a
mm.
sudden she just ends up going to the cardio machine because she doesn't really know what to do and he doesn't really know how to train her because it's different, right? Like we've
Yeah,
all
it's
been there.
different. It's so
So
different.
when you can find the right program for you, whether it's with me, whether it's with your best friend, whether it's with, a trainer that you saw on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, you've got to be able to relate to them. They got to be able to instill something in you that forces you to step out of your comfort zone and be okay with that growth.
That's so true. And it's like, I feel like it comes from a really deep place of knowing who you are because I feel like it's really hard to know who you are when you don't feel like you're in your body. Because
Yeah.
you're like, you'll be like, I feel power. And then you'll look in the mirror and like, or I've seen this with clients who they'll say, like, on the outside, they've got surgery, they've done all these things. And I'm not anti cosmetic. Like, I'm not going to go down that road because I feel like everything should be done safely with research. Um, but I do know a lot of people who've done all of the things aesthetically. But then the internal, there's a mismatch because it's like this obsession with trying to sculpt. So how do you stay grounded when you're in this competitive field? You're in bikinis, you're on stage, you're around
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
around the female. Like how do you deal with that?
How do I try not to be like, I need boobs? Oh my God, my life. Ah. Um, personally for me, I'm a huge advocate for cosmetic surgery, to be honest. I've had a few clients
Mhm.
that have gotten it, but the way that I advocate for it, and I'm like a big, thumbs up is when you put the work in and we work on your mental first. Right. So I think that's the
Mm.
same thing with me. Like when I can help you create a better relationship with food, then yeah, go get that tummy tuck because the skin's not going anywhere. And if it really gets to you like that, get rid of it. Right. If you want to,
Mm.
have a bigger chest because it'll make your waist look a little smaller, but you've put the work in with me. And again, you understand that your mental is the biggest part and we've already worked on that. I'm a huge advocate for it. But you catch a lot of people who will do all of the outside and forget to work on the inside, right? So, and then that creates a trickle down effect because they're just going to go back to the old habits that they had and they're going to put that weight back on. And then they don't understand why they spend another 30 grand on a tummy tuck. Well, you
Mm.
haven't changed here. It's all about here. You have to understand that we are, in a sense, a masochist in the bodybuilding world as a female. Maybe as men, I'm not a man, so I don't really know, right? But the pain that I get from working out in a positive way, not like, oh my God, I injured myself, but like really going
Right.
in there and feeling like, wow, like I used to have 25 pounds on each side and now I'm looking at 245s on each side and I'm doing more reps. So my strength has gone up. Like that's how I view that. So my endurance and my strength has,
Mm.
increased. So guess what that means? That means I can have a little more steak on my plate. Right. So I get a
Mm.
little more
Right.
excited about that because now I'm starting to grow and I'm starting to truly understand. But my relationship with food is why I don't feel intimidated when I step on stage with these women who, have had a little extra cosmetic surgery that I haven't had. And yeah, there's sometimes where I look at them and I'm like, damn, if I really had boobs, I would probably be a little more like, right. But at the same time, I've never been like, I got to do it for them. Right. It's always
Right.
been, it's always been for me. And that's why I'm a huge fan for my clients that have gotten the cosmetic surgery because they did it for them.
That's
It
so
wasn't for
important.
anybody else, right?
Right.
So once that is like you understand, then all of it, I'm like, I will give you a doctor.
Right.
Like
Ooh.
I will go
So you're the
with you.
whole
And
thing.
Yeah, like I've gone with some of my clients to their appointments. Yeah. And I've like
Wow.
sat with the doctors and we've,
No.
their recoveries have been 10 times better because their nutrition is better. So their body is able to repair
Hmm.
itself faster. So instead of you going in and being like, okay, well, in 8 weeks you can do X, Y, and Z, in 6 weeks they can do it
Wow. Okay.
because their
Okay.
body, they know how to feed themselves. They
So
understand that, yeah, they're not,
you're
oh
holistic
yeah,
across the top, and you're like, you're
yeah,
plugged in. Like your energy is like all throughout your business and all
yeah,
throughout your clients. Okay. That
yeah.
is like, I've never
Well,
heard
because I
anything
would
like
never
that.
want them to do like I said before, I've taken the hit for everything. So why would I have you take it? If there's somebody that I
Hmm.
know, one of my clients got a great mommy makeover. Why would I not send you to that doctor?
Right.
Check him
But
out,
that to
right?
me,
I've
like
sat
to
in the
me,
office with
that's just
him.
abundance. That's abundance to me. It's like
Yeah.
it's because you feel your own, so you feel yourself so much. It's just so much because it feels, you make people feel empowered. And
Yeah.
when people are empowered, they know who the fuck they are. And they
Yeah.
know
And it's
what they
dangerous.
have, it's
You know what I'm
dangerous.
saying? It's dangerous. And I tell them this all the time.
I
I'm like,
know
listen,
that.
when you literally figure out that you are the bad bitch, you will lose
You
friends.
bad bitch.
You may get divorced. You may find your man. Shit will happen.
Shit will happen. Shit will shake.
Yeah.
Shit will
Yeah. And
shake,
don't
but
apologize
into
for that.
place. Yes,
You
into the,
can't
I feel like
apologize
the
for that.
right story. You can't. No.
Yeah. You can't. You have to be okay with being uncomfortable for your own growth when it comes to that. And again, it's like not just you working out, at least not with me. It's not just you working out. It's you figuring out your own power and understanding that, okay, I go to the gym and I'm extra, extra because that's my job. Right. But that doesn't mean you have to go to the gym and be extra, extra, but you still feel empowered. You're going to still feel good about yourself, which is what we're trying to, that's the end goal. The end goal isn't to be me.
Right.
The end goal isn't to, you know, be as extreme or do X, Y, and Z unless you're like, I want to step on stage. And that's a totally different story. Right. But
Right. Right.
right now we're just trying to find that balance and understand that your mental plays a huge part. If
Huge.
here is not in it to win it, the rest of you won't be either. And it sounds cliche, but it's really true. Like at the
It's
end of the
so
day.
true. I want people to know that it is so true. I have this new thing where I'm saying lead with the mind. Lead with the mind. Don't, I'm not saying negate the action. People can call it aligned action or whatever. But when we lead with our mind, we're giving ourselves the blueprint. And I
Yeah.
realized that masculine energy, people, there's a lot of talk about like masculine energy in this whole realm. So before I dive into what I have to say about it, I would love to hear your take on that. Like, how do you differentiate your masculine energy from your feminine energy while you're in this industry?
So the struggle is real. So I also am a posing coach. I'm also posed by the number one coach in the industry. So I feel like he demands nothing but like sexy, sassy, especially in the division that I'm in, which forces me to get out of my comfort zone, which is like being tough, right? Because I feel like as
Right.
women, if we are too girly, then it's like, oh my God, you can't like take care of yourself or you feel X, Y, and Z. When in reality, yeah, I'm a damsel in distress. Just leave me alone. Like, yeah, I can take the trash out, but I'm not
Hmm.
going to. That's a boy job. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm also, so I think teaching other women how to find their inner sass through posing
Oh, I like that.
has taught me how to be more feminine on stage and off stage. And, this year was that big turning point for me because I went from figure, which is, a little tomboyish with some sass, to wellness, which is all sass, right? You're
Oh,
showing off
wow.
the glutes and the hamstrings. That is the main goal in this division. So I had to go out there, and it's different from being like Disney happy versus like my man happy, right? So your
Oh,
whole facial, you know what I'm saying? Like your whole
yes.
facial expressions change and you flip the hair and you get like super
Lit.
extra, right? So I had to get comfortable with myself doing that because I'm
That
literally
must have been,
wiggling my
was
butt
that,
on stage.
what do you tell yourself when you're out there? Are you like, is there something you see, something you
Yeah,
say?
yeah. So, and I say this to the girls too. I'm like, listen, no matter what division you're in and no matter what level you're on, amateur, national, pro, you deserve to be there on that stage just like those other girls.
Ooh,
And
I
you remember
love
that.
that.
Okay.
I
And that's what I would
love
tell myself every time I stepped back on stage is that I deserve to be here and I'm about to show y'all why I deserve to be here.
that.
I'd be last, okay, but I'm gonna be here,
But a bitch,
you know?
I'm on stage.
Listen, and you want to know that the coolest part is that I've been doing this again, let me tell you, since for real, probably 2014. And never once has a judge ever
Wow.
told me I needed to work on my posing. Ever.
Really?
Because I made you believe it. When I walked out on there, no matter if my posing was a little weird or not, I made you believe that I deserved to be there.
Make you believe that you deserve. Anybody watching this, listening to this, wherever you are, you need to write that down. You need to write that down, and you need to put that into your subconscious mind. Put it on your mirror. Just take a second and do that, because that is an
Because we get
aha
like
moment.
so caught up, right? And I'm like on the stage with Olympians, you know, trying to requalify for the O. And this is my first time
But,
stepping out on
oh,
stage as a wellness competitor. And like, I told myself, nope, I deserve to be here. Yep. Just like everybody else, I put my time in, I put my effort in. I got my pro card. I deserve to be here just like they do. So when I went out on that stage, you couldn't tell that I was like, la inside. Okay. You saw
right.
the hair flip, you saw the booty shake, you saw all of that, because that's who I need to be at that time. And that
That's what you were
was,
embodying. You were
yeah, that was such
embodying
an
it.
eye opener for me, because I was sexy, you know, and you couldn't tell me
Yes.
anything. And it was, you know, you just glow differently. Like, yeah, you're welcome.
Different. You're welcome. To me, that's like
So,
the ultimate, like, and it's funny because I did pull a card, because these podcast interviews are definitely surrounding the feminine collective. I want to say that there are collectives within collectives. It's not just females. It's not just sassy little. There's so many, and especially when we get into astrology. So I pulled a card to symbolize, like, how can we differentiate our masculine energy sometimes. And the funny thing was, I got the King of Wands, and
oh
this
my
is
goodness.
stage. He's on fucking
Oh, I see
stage.
him, yeah, with the mic and everything. You better stop it.
Girl, what you just said.
Stop.
I can't. And
You better.
literally, the microphone, like, this is like what she just said. What, can you say it again for everybody that's deserving to be here?
Like, you, well, that's the thing. You deserve to be here no matter what. You work just as hard, if not harder. Like, there's just so many levels to it. So you have to embody that. You have to be comfortable with it. Because let me tell you, the judges will see that. And let me tell you, in
Girl,
real life, they see that.
look at the other card I got. You're not going to fucking believe this. Look, the damn justice.
Stop. Why? We are one, girl. We are
We
one. You better knock it
we
off.
Girl,
Knock all
what?
of it
So
off.
who's the judge? Who is the judge? Who is the judge?
Right. You are.
Who
Like,
is
you got to
you
understand,
are
like,
the judge.
not for nothing, at the end of the day, like, you get judged, right, on stage, and they tell you what
Of
you need to
course.
work on and all that other stuff. But like, every time you go into the gym, or every time you step into your profession, or you want to, you know, become an entrepreneur, you judge. Okay, well, how did I handle that? Can I do
You
better?
judge.
Right. So like, what else do I want to work on? Like, for me,
Mm-hmm.
January was a little slow. So what did I do? I worked on more media. I started TikToking. I started doing things that I
Girl,
didn't
you're
have
not gonna
time
believe it.
for. I can't with you. Oh my God.
This is the Knight of Pentacles card, guys. I'm holding it up. There is a picture of a camera and a gym equipment in the background. What? Girl, you need to have a show. What's going on? What's going on,
I can't
girl?
with you. I can't. No, literally, that's what I've been doing. I just like was like, you know what? All right.
It's
I'm gonna just
it's
get on the
blessed.
bandwagon. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna like step out of my comfort zone and start doing what I gotta do to benefit, you know,
And you're here now. You're
my
here now with the
profession.
mic in your
Yeah.
hand. You're here with the mic in your hand right now. And this is going to bless so many people. Come home to yourself. Come home to yourself. But look in. I started saying, turn your third eye around. Use your third eye to perceive yourself and
Yeah.
what you need. Because we already know how to work hard. Like, you just don't focus on anything negative. Don't focus on, oh, this girl right next to me in the bikini. And just for me
Oh
as a
yeah.
mom, I'm just focusing on myself
Yep.
and just getting better every day. And like for me,
Yep.
the food stuff, the routine, that's all I'm focused on right now. And for the first time, I can say that honestly.
I love that. I'm glad
Because
that you can
before you're
do
like, oh,
that.
I'm focused on this. No, it's like
Yeah.
hell,
Yeah. Yeah.
hell.
Because then again, when your glass is full, you be surprised on like what you're capable of doing more for your loved ones, right?
Mm,
And for your community. You begin to, like, I call my studio the safe space. My
I like
clients have
that.
created that studio. Without them, it wouldn't be
Mm,
there, right? So when they walk through those doors, If they need to lay on the floor and zen out for an hour, then that's what we do. If they need to stretch, then that's what we do. If they need to sit on the floor and cry and get out whatever they need to get out, that's what we do. So it's not just, hey, you come in here, you train, and then you leave, right? Like that's not working on your mental. You walk in there and there's some where they pick the weights up, they put them down, they're like, rah. And then there's others where they're just like, I need a minute. Is it okay? Yeah, cool. You can sit wherever you like and just, you need me to put on some wind chimes or do whatever. Here's a box you can lay your neck on to relieve some pressure off the shoulders and we'll stretch out.
I've never seen a gym like that. I've never even heard of it.
Well, that's what you get from having a private studio and understanding that the mental is the most important part. The physical will follow. You have to be comfortable. You have to understand that, you can push if your mind allows you to do so.
Yeah.
So why would I have you in there on some, okay, well, we're just going to work on this and do that, and then you can leave, bye.
You know why? It's so funny when people, and I've had this realization because I'm obsessed with the mind. I'm obsessed with Dr. Joe Dispenza and NLP training and law of assumption. And all that means is what you focus on expands and what you embody. So whatever you focus on, you are embodying. So if people are like, you know what, I have to work out, I have to do this, I have to get clients. They're so focused on the thing that they're actually pushing out the connection on accident. So when we turn it around and we say, you know what, how am I feeling? Hey guys, you know what, today, let's all do a meditation because I think it'll be great. And because you're focusing on yourself being the battery for all these other people, and you can replenish yourself when you help people instead of being drained by people.
Right. Yeah, because sometimes, there'll be those days where they look at me and I look at them and they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, it's one of those days, and it's great because a lot of them have been with me since I opened up the studio about a year ago. So being able to make those relationships that allow them to grow, it really encompasses what I want that place to be. And yeah, there's nothing but like, we do train. So I don't want to make it seem like we're not in there working, but like, when everybody walks in there, again, it's that safe space. And I always reiterate that to them, what is said in here stays in here, how you feel stays in here, what we've got going on, your goals, everything like that. I always ask if it's okay for me to put them on my social media. I don't like to just do it. Like everybody has their rights in that space. And it's one of my favorite things because I feel like in a lot of these gyms, even the private studios, you're not getting that. There's no connection. It's just you go in there, you work out, and you leave. And it's like, I don't want that to be a thing because your mental isn't going to change.
Right.
You have to change your mental. If you can change your mental, everything else works.
That's true. And it's like what you're saying, 100%. Like people need to know you can apply this to any area of your life. Like if you're wanting to just get the motion going, just spend the time on your mind. And I like to pour into my mind and listen to things that all day that are positive or that are in that direction. And it really, really does work.
Yeah. You got to surround yourself with people that speak life into you as well. So I feel like that's something that I know I love to do. I love to speak life into people. I feel like we don't get that enough. Right. So when somebody's having a hard day, or even if they're having a great day, I'm like, you deserve that. I love this for you. I love that you're able to, grow like for you. I love that you are excited about this journey. Like that makes me happy more than anything else. I could care less if you lost, and I know that we want to, but I could care less if you lost 100 pounds and you made me X, Y, and Z. No. The fact that you are excited for your journey is a win for me because that means that it's not going anywhere. We are forever stuck in a great way.
And that's the best part, that imagination. Yeah, like it's when you can tap into excitement and fun and like being excited about your journey or making your journey fun or being creative. Like, okay, let me try this. It actually makes you want to stay. It's like I'm not trying anymore to be excited. Like this morning I got up and I was like, oh, there was no exercise on there. I was like, okay, well, let me just do some yoga. And I did yoga and I was like, this was actually nice. And my daughter was crawling underneath my leg. And like, I was like, oh, this is cool. She's getting to see me actually embody wellness. It's not about, oh, my mom was, because I grew up in a family where all the women would say, oh, I'm fat. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. And then I looked back about 15 years later, girl, my mom, my grandma, my family, but they were never that. They
Yeah.
thought they were. And I said,
Yeah.
we've come to a healing moment, all of us in our family, about body image, shame, and really stepping into your own narrative and coming home to yourself. And like, when I feel like shit, I don't stare in the mirror. I do things that make me feel good. I drink my
Yeah.
tea. I go outside. I
I
get
love
into
tea.
my feeling. Yes, tea is like, oh, and I love
Tea
green
is
tea.
life. I mean, don't get it twisted. Me and my coffee are like this, so I can't
And
say too
coffee,
much.
coffee.
But like, I do love my tea. My tea is my nighttime go-to for sure.
Oh, nighttime.
So
See, I wish I liked coffee. I love the smell of coffee, but I don't really like coffee. But Steve loves coffee, so he's always drinking it, so I like the smell.
yeah, it's wonderful. But I think like just to kind of touch on the body shaming and the different levels of it. I always tell my girls that you have fat. You're not fat. When you have something, you can control
Ooh.
that, right? So you just have fat. You aren't fat. That's not how you should define yourself. That's not
Ah.
how you view yourself, right? Like I try to
Ooh.
change the verbiage. Like it's not a diet, it's a nutrition plan. A diet only happens when we go into season because it's unattainable, right? So
Ooh.
you just want to begin to change the wordplay because how you speak to yourself, right? They always say speak kindness to yourself. It is the same exact way when you're thinking about your physique. And even when you talk to other people, right? You go to somebody and you're like, okay, well, I got to do X, Y, and Z, but you're skinny. So why does it matter? Well, first off, you don't know why they're skinny. They might be trying to
Mhm.
put on more weight because of, they might have a certain medical issue that causes them to not be able to eat as much, which causes them to be a little on the skinnier side. And all they want to do is put on some weight and put on some muscle. So just by you saying that is a switch of the body shaming, right? So it's like being able to
Mhm.
better understand how you approach somebody. Because I've had girls that come to me that are trying to put weight on and they're just having a really hard time, right? But then
Right.
everybody has this and they come to me and they're like, well, they just keep saying that I'm skinny, so it shouldn't really matter. You're lucky because of X, Y, and Z. But that's not how they view it. So now you're like tapping into their mental, right? Instead of trying to be like, okay, well,
Mm.
well, then we can do a dinner date every Wednesday. I'm gonna help you put that weight on, right? It's just there's no understanding that body shaming goes both ways. Same thing with
Period.
contest prep. We get into our leanest, and sometimes we look a little bit on the scary side. And again, I just try to tell the girls, like, listen, you got to understand people are gonna be like, what are you doing? You look sick, or is this how you're gonna look forever? Or don't let it bother you. If you need somebody to talk to, talk to me, but you just kind of educate them on what you're
Yeah.
doing, and then if they keep persisting it, then you just tell them in the most politeful way to fuck off.
In the most, yes, respectfully, fuck
So
off.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Because I've
And I
already
think that's
educated you on it and
beautiful.
I've told you what my goal is and why I'm where I'm at. And if you just can't understand it, that's okay because it's not your journey, it's mine. But that doesn't mean you need to be here with that negative nonsense. So yeah,
Yeah, get that out of here. Don't
respectfully.
allow that energy in your space. Be
Yeah,
very protect. And I think that's how you definitely protect your energy, your aura, your vessel by
yeah,
actually the boundaries that you set. And I experienced that when I had Rain when I was pregnant. And I actually had the opposite feeling. Like I felt the most sexy I had ever felt. I loved getting bigger and bigger because it was just not just because, oh, there's a baby, just for
yeah,
my own reasons. I was like,
yeah,
my body is changing. This is really cool and I'm capable and I was able to work out. And now I'm just like, I'm powerful. I feel strong. And
yeah,
so that helped me get through the physical changes of like, okay, now my skin. Okay, now this. Okay, now that. And I'm just like, you know what? It's the same. It's just in reverse. It's just
yeah,
we
yeah.
were trying to
Everybody's
get
like,
big
oh my
and we
God,
were trying to
how
get
do you
tall.
how do you do your skin and you just look so great? Like I'll be 38 this year, right? So it's
I
like
didn't even know
you just
that.
yeah, girl, I'm old, sort of.
You're young.
Um, and everybody's like, so your skin, da da. I'm like, water.
Water,
Just drink
water,
more
water.
water.
Yes.
Like, and it sounds so simple, and they just look at me like I got 10 heads, but I'm like, no, your body is water. So what happens, when you remove water? The desert dries up, right?
It
You
dries
get
that
all
shit up.
crackly and you get all crazy,
I
right?
live in the desert. My
Well,
hair.
right, yeah. Well,
I've
yeah. So
had to
you
like
you know
use
even
so much
more.
water. Yeah, water.
Yeah. So
Black girls out here, water in Arizona.
the Arizona heat is no joke.
It will, but it'll make you. I love that you said water because in the Queen Circle, just as like to let people know, like you're going to be an instructor at the Queen Circle.
Yeah.
It is a holistic healing experience. We're going to be dealing with body and the mind. We're going to be dealing with our soul, our spirit, and how we express ourselves, how to trust our intuition, and then of course finances, because I feel like Bad Bitch kind of encompasses all three. And I love the
Yeah.
triangle because it's a strong structure. And I love to work with all of that. And so what I'd like to say is when you said water, each queen in the Queen Circle in tarot, it represents 4 elements. This, all of our elements, fire, earth, water, and air. And so part of the program, I'm going to be having women drink so much water because before I started with you, girl, I was drinking like 3 cups of water.
I know. I read your questionnaire and I was like, oh my God. How?
I honestly,
How?
I don't
Especially
even
with you
know.
living out in Arizona too. Like, how
In
did you
Arizona,
survive?
girl, I didn't. I was dry. I was like, and I had no energy. And I was like, I didn't, it was like my mind, like you said, the mental. So what happened was on her app, guys, you have to work with her. You have to hit her up. Either if you come through me or you go through her, she's amazing. On the app, it tells you like, okay, I've had this many cups. So in tarot, there's cup cards and cups
Yeah.
represent happiness. So I said, you know what? If I want the 10 of cups, let's make it a game. So I'll drink 10 cups at least to get a minimum of the 10 of cups. Tell me why my water intake started going up. I got a fancy cup with my name on it.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I was like, wow, I never realized how physical fitness for people who are definitely identify as very spiritual, they watch my channel and they're like into tarot and stuff, how if you combine the real cups and you can you can merge the energy of the real world and you can accomplish your goals much faster and in fun way.
Yeah. Like the water is just so important on all levels. Like, ma'am, I know, I hear you. Give me 1 second. Her ball's underneath the
Of
table. Just
course.
give me 1 second. Give me 1 second so I can
Okay.
get it for her. OMG, Beverly. Ma'am.
Her name is Beverly.
Yeah.
Her dog.
Oh my goodness.
That's
She's a
adorable.
big baby. Big baby.
Beverly.
Big baby. Her ball was underneath the coffee dry sink, so she whines like a little baby.
Aww.
But water is so
I know all about that.
like, so it's crazy because I tried it. I had one client, she was like, man, I love this chapstick. I'm like, your lips are chapped? And she was like, yeah, I just feel like, I said, how much water do you drink? And she was like, maybe like 1 or 2 cups. And I said, okay, so your lips aren't chapped, honey. You're just dry. I said, so every time, I was like, so every time you feel like your lips being dry, how about you drink some water?
Drink some water.
So she started doing that and her chapstick usage started to go down. And she was like, Kim, I was like, I told
Wow.
you.
That's
It's like
very
little things like that.
true. Little
So,
things.
and it's the little things like you start to get like dry and you feel your skin. Okay, well, that's also how, just reflect how much water have I had today? Because I can physically feel if I've had enough water. Like I
Yeah.
know instantly.
And I don't feel
So,
heavy anymore. Like I've been drinking about 10, 12, 8, like way more than I was. And I don't, at first, okay, I go to the bathroom a lot, but not as much
oh
as I
yeah, I was
used
gonna
to.
say, yeah,
But
the
like you
bathroom is
don't
like
feel
a
that heavy
deferrent.
after a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, because then your body doesn't hold on to anything. So what happens is that after the first 2 weeks of you being consistent with your water, it starts to let everything go, right? So it doesn't feel like it's holding on to much. And then you're also able to get rid of that water weight. So when you have something higher in sodium, you're going to feel it when your water is down. You're going to swell, right? But if you got enough water, your body can instantly let it go. So that's why people, after they have like Chinese or like they eat their ramen or whatever, they kind of feel stiff and they swell. It's because the sodium is high and their water is low.
The
So if
sodium's
they're
high
water
and
and they know
water's
that they're
low.
going out to do all of that, I'll make sure I drink extra water so that I don't have those symptoms. So water really does a lot and we just sleep on it.
Don't sleep on water. Stay tuned because this is like, it's so funny. And I've noticed like the most complex things to accomplish come through simple methods, like the consistency, knowing your numbers, like knowing what you need to do and planning ahead, plan your week, I like to plan my week now. I used to plan my day, but that's just too soon as a mom. Like I got to plan like 2 weeks or a week at least. And it's so much easier that way. I like to reflect on Sunday, like today. And that's why I'm like, you know what, let's do this. So I just wanted to introduce you to people because they're going to be seeing you in the group. They're going to just like, I'm going to be posting this, but I want to show that, you know what, like, I don't have to be everything. You don't have to be everything. We can lean on each other for each other's strength.
Yep.
And she is helping me so much. And I wanted to share Kim with you guys so that you could see that holistic wellness exists and what it looks like.
Yeah. It's simple. Like, it's all those little pieces. Like, a puzzle isn't a big puzzle without the little pieces. So you got to start working on those little things. And yeah, you might not see something right away, but let me tell you that one day you're going to wake up and be like, did I just lose 20 pounds? And my skin is glowing. And that's just because you took your 3 20-minute walks throughout the week. You did one yoga class that fit into your schedule that week. You started drinking more water. You were paying more attention. You got a fun glass, right? Or a fun to-go mug with your name on it. I always suggest it. It's so funny that you got that, because I always suggest to the girls, I'm like, if you're having a hard time with your water, get something fun you don't mind carrying around.
I see. Yes, it works. It works. It feels like a kid, like the inner child healing aspect of it is like, hey, you know, when you're little, it's like, oh, it's mine. I put my name on it. I want the pink one. I want it. It's like customize your experience, tailor it to you.
One of my clients got me a Yeti. It was like a half a gallon Yeti. I saw her walk in with it. And the only reason why I was like, oh my God, is because you unscrew the top and it magnets to the top of the water bottle, right? So I was like, the child in me was like, oh my God, you'll never lose your cap. We're never gonna lose the cap because it's magnetic. I need one, right? So then for Christmas she gets it, but she's got like my name on it, and she put the IFBB Pro logo on it. So I'm like, so people know that I'm a pro with my water jug. Like, I want this. First off, Yetis are heavy, so this bitch is heavy. I could like, just don't mess with me while I'm walking through the parking lot at night, because you will get snapped. Like, this thing is heavy. But I felt the same exact way. I was like, she got my name on it. Like, I'm like legit now. Like, I can't not walk anywhere with this thing. Yeah. So I feel like when you have something that's kind of yours and you're also able to get your water and stuff in, it's so crucial. Water is just like the bee's knees of all things. And we just like ignore it.
It's life energy. And it's funny because in the spiritual world, they'll say, oh, anytime there's water, it's like psychic, it's intuitive. But I see it as cleansing. And I do shower rituals every single day, sometimes twice a day. And when I get in the shower, I take off the day. I take off everything. I'm like, I imagine it just going down the drain and then water replenishing me. And now that I'm actually drinking more water, I'm excited to share my journey. Like, I've been sharing like the little things I've done on the app, on my Facebook and different places, because it's just not because I'm trying to make anyone do anything. I'm just happy and I'm fucking proud of myself, and I'm going to share it. And that's what I do, you know? Yeah. So I just want to thank you, and thank you so much for your energy and your essence and your beauty and like your wisdom, because you're so multifaceted. And she's a Gemini. I don't even know if I mentioned that, but I love to do that because my podcast always encompasses astrology, and it's like, let's get out of the negative collective of stereotyping signs in totality when we are all 12 signs in our birth chart, just different aspects.
Yeah. I know, and I think I get the brunt of it because I'm a 6'6", 86. So like with all the extra sixes, everybody's like, "Oh my God, you're just so evil," and I'm like, actually, I'm like the complete opposite.
Exactly, the complete opposite.
I'm like really nice.
Actually represents health, and on the birth chart, it's Virgo, it's health, it's wellness. So she's the queen of freaking wellness. So. And my husband dubbed you the Iron Queen because we were.
I know. I told Kevin, and he was like, "What are you playing, Dungeons and Dragons?" I'm like, "Don't be mad if I do." Okay.
I live in that world, and not because I live in a delusional world. Kim's gonna teach us how to. We already have a mystical life, so we're just gonna add in some practical things that are gonna enhance us mentally, physically, emotionally, all around.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yes. Okay.
This is new for me too, so you're welcome.
Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.